May the fourth be with you and all the mental performance exercises, tips, tricks that we can take away from it. That is what we're going to be talking about today. Our master Yoda. We are going to take some lessons, some exercises, some mental exercises from him, talk about them in this episode today. If you are new here, my name is Gabe Rummel, founder of The Athlete's Health, creator of the Mental Performance Playbook. Here, these episodes where we are breaking down elite mental strategies and delivering them in actionable results that we can then apply immediately. TAH, The Athlete's Health, partners with clubs, schools, facilities, organizations, does the mental training for teams, for programs, or for individuals. So check that out down below. But without further ado, let's get into this. We have 3 quotes from Yoda. I got them pulled up on my screen right here. 3 quotes from Yoda that we are going to discuss today and apply them into the mental performance world and how specifically we can utilize these. Take these as a parent, as a coach, apply it, try to sprinkle it in with your athletes, or if you are the athlete yourself, try and use it for yourself. Quote number 1. Clear your mind must be if you are to find the villains behind this plot. See, we are also going to follow our THC's framework: clarity, confidence, composure. And that is what we have here. Quote number 1, clearing your mind to find and fight the villains. See, this is what we are stepping into every day, whether it's practice, whether it's film, whether it's the actual games and performances. This is step number 1, that clarity piece. The mind has to be clear if we want to perform at its peak. If we want to find those villains, if we want to defeat those villains that are causing the plot in our head, whatever we are casting those villains to be, we need to have that clear mind in presenting it. Now, this can be about the goals that we are conquering, goals that we are trying to reach towards. This can be about the steps that we need to take to do it, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, and the evening. This all revolves around that clarity aspect and why we pull that as quote number 1 from Yoda of our mental performance quote of clear your mind must be if you are to find the villains behind this plot. Whatever story that the athletes that we are working with or that you know or that you yourself even are a part of, if that mind is wandering, if it's not focused, if it has many different things pointing at it, it's going to be much harder to find the villain and defeat, to conquer that villain. Quote number 2, confidence piece. Do or do not. There is no try. This may be Yoda's most famous quote, but it is the most famous quote for a reason. And I find myself getting wrapped around in this quote too of, okay, I'm going to try this out. I see my internal language, my language I sometimes use to myself saying, let's try this. Let's see how it goes. No, do or do not. There is no try, Yoda says. That is how we need athletes to start embracing every piece, because we don't always do that. We learn a new drill and all of a sudden the athlete is a little hesitant. I guess I'll try this. No. Do the drill. I guess I'll try to get the 8 reps in. No, do the 8 reps, or you do not. There is no try. And this, one thing that I have learned along this entrepreneurship of building TAH up is the try equals do not. Very, very rarely, if even at all, does that try equals do. And so this ties back now to our mental exercises that we preach here, that we teach here, that we train up of 1, for quote number 1, how do we clear that mind? How do we actually do that? I gave those examples of the goals, the stepping stone goals, the mountain goals, our milestone goals. That's one way to have that vision in mind, but then how do you clear it for it? Those are the mental exercises which past episodes have talked about. This is our May Our Fourth Be With You episode, going into do or do not. How do we do that? Well, we have our confidence cliff that we sometimes talk about, where if you are at the top of the cliff, you picture it, it's only 10 feet up, or that high diving board. And from the bottom, it doesn't even look that scary. But once we are at the top, oh my gosh, it looks like we are on top of the world and we're supposed to jump into the water. Do or do not. There is no try. When you are on the top of that cliff, when our athletes are up there, we have to just jump in and then we learn and then we do it the next time. That is quote number 2 of do or do not. There is no try, because if you're going to try to jump off the top of that cliff, you do not jump off the top. I'm going to jump off the top of that cliff. That's that confidence, the leaping confidence, that confidence cliff. Then you do it. Into now our third quote, our third piece of control. You must learn control. And there's one book called Relentless here. And there's even a chapter in this book where they say, control the uncontrollables. Now that goes a little far fetched for me. I don't always necessarily like to say that with our athletes when we are training this up. But the point goes into more perspectives than that. What this point really means is every piece that you can control, that our athletes can control, we need to look at and start training that control to have that control. This is that composure piece, because we can have control over our composure if we start to train it, if we learn those exercises, if we learn those resets. That is how we start to control. You must learn control. That is how we do that. But it starts from that clear piece, from that confidence piece of doing it. We have to do it even when it's hard, when it doesn't feel good. That is what the athletes will go through. And that is exactly what happens when we specifically start the mental training. We will go out. You will go out. You'll have your athletes go out and try this themselves. They'll do it once or twice, but like anything, a little bit of a challenge, they might back away unless they have that training, that coaching, that piecing with it. So as for our third Yoda quote, one more time, control. You must learn control. We must learn not only how to have control, but how to train that control, how to keep that control in the heat of the moment, in those high pressure situations. And that ultimately is what the mental performance training is for, whether it's for the clarity piece, whether it's for the confidence piece or the composure piece. Yoda in our Star Wars, and may the Force or the Fourth be with you, gives us so many examples of these. Now, I had to make this episode quick so we could all think back to some of the fun examples throughout the Star Wars episodes, the movies, the trilogies, and how Yoda instills this in Star Wars and how we can instill this in our performances. Take these ideas, try to implement them in your performance or the athletes that you know. And if you would like more work with this, please contact us. We'd love to get some training going with you and help out the athletes and train that mental game. Otherwise, the only real ask is if you liked this episode, if you liked this show, please give it a 5-star review. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube and share this with someone who should see it. As we get going here now, I understand my hair looks a little different. I understand I have what looks like maybe chocolate, but no, it is just a canker sore that keeps not healing on my lips. But please remember clarity, confidence, composure. May the force be with you, because that is ultimately our mental training. My name's Gabe Rummel. I will catch you next week on the Mental Performance Playbook. Peace.